Please welcome Patty Diaz reading The Rage.
If a child has a drunk for a parent, they have a rage inside them. Our rage had to be quiet. Where does the anger go if we don't let it out? My mother bought a house when I was 5 or 6. It was a brand new subdivision and there was only one street with construction on it. The rest of the property was beautiful Virginia woods. Our laughter always irritated my mother, especially early in the morning. So we were often told to leave the house after breakfast and we had to be back at dusk. We played in the creek and dirt piles. We found arrowheads everywhere. We spent a good half a year clearing out trails and making rooms with brooms and rakes. And our favorite place was the woods. We cut down small trees and chopped up the wood to line our dirt and red clay hallways in our outdoor home. There was an unusual number of bullies for a neighborhood that had 20 houses at most. They eventually happened upon our sanctuary in the woods, and one morning, my sister and I found our work completely destroyed. They had messed it all up overnight. Tire tracks all around the plot, broken sticks everywhere. My plan came to me in seconds when we found our trashed sanctuary that morning. In just seconds, I knew that we would dig traps for the vandals, so when they walked through, they would step into holes, impale their feet and legs on sharpened sticks, have the sores filled with our poop mixture that I was going to make my siblings go get, and they would get an infection, get sepsis, and lose their limbs and hopefully their lives. I was 9. I sat down in the woods, I gathered sticks and pulled out my pocket knife. I told my siblings to go get a bag from the garage and go around the neighborhood and gather dog poop. A few hours later, I had gathered all the dog droppings that they brought, and sorry. Apparently I didn't read the story before I got it. No, we then spent the rest of the afternoon digging holes in our dirt trails, planting the sticks straight up. That way pouring the water and the dog poop mixture in the hole. We did a cross-hatching with twigs and leaves and covered it with the dirt camouflage. Before we turned in for the night, we used kite string and loose knots to tie down springy young trees around the various exits. So if they rode through, they would trip the booby traps and take a switch to the face. I was hoping for blood loss in an eye. No one lost their lives that night. No one lost a foot or an eye. There were some ruined shoes and bandaged feet, but most importantly, there was that look of fear and respect on the faces of the kids that had messed up our sanctuary. In a weird way, we had communicated that rage to each other in our destruction and in the retaliation. We had gained respect for those identities and where they began and ended, not just by how we had attacked and how we had defended, but because in that action we took, we shared we were the only ones who would, and that rage was our only defense against the neglect at home.